Greetings, groovy people! This is the self-proclaimed Blue Dragon, and I welcome you to this week's video, Clash of the Lilliputians. Get it? They aren't titans. They're also not, like, tiny little people, but I don't care. I didn't know what to name this, and I didn't want to feel, like, arrogant by calling them titans when they are the worst at fighting. Well, maybe not Kei Yulie so much, but definitely Odysseus. Spoiler alert, the drawing that I'm fumbling around with back there doing the screen toning this week, this is an Act 6 page, so if you aren't caught up on the story, you may not want to watch this. Go watch some other videos. I'm gonna be real honest, I'm not particularly happy with this page, so I've been asking people for advice on action scenes. Question of the week comes early this video. What are your favorite action comics? Leave that in the comments below. So this is a page from Dark Horse free webcomic that I work on, links below. And this scene is obviously a clash, and it is between the Kei Yulie possessed Renshaw and Odysseus. So, yeah, Odysseus, as I've mentioned before in this Q&A video and some other videos where I talk about him, he's really not much of a fighter. His strength actually lies in studying and writing and things of that nature, but obviously the situation's called for him to gather his strength and fight. But what I want to hint at is that Kei Yulie's Word of Wednesday ascendancy over Odysseus has been a reoccurring thing for him. He's been fighting her for quite a while, ever since she has taken over. And I'll be delving more into this later in the series, but I just kind of want to introduce it because the girls have absolutely, well, Rena's not going to know anyway because she's passed out, but they haven't yet understood the severity of the situation. So I'm trying to kind of start dropping in what's going on in the future. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on here with a lot of the dialogue from Kei Yulie, or it's from Renshaw, but Kei Yulie is doing the talking since she's possessing him. I'm also trying to not so subtly hint at Kei Yulie's longevity. She's been around for a long time, but at this point, nobody's exactly sure just how old she is. So that's kind of something I wanted to make obvious by her talking about the quote-unquote real Odysseus. Now, I'm not going to spoil who she is or where she's from, but that is at least trying to give you a bit of a hint as to how old she is. Something that I have been struggling with in this comic, I'm going to kind of do some self-reflection here, but I have really been struggling with creating fluid action scenes. And I am well aware of this. I've been soliciting suggestions and feedback from the comic theory community. I think I might dip into Tapas and see if anyone, who could maybe give me some suggestions there. But if you, lovely viewers, are interested, you are certainly invited to also share your suggestions, because I'm aware that a lot of you are probably fans of comics. I've gotten some really cool comments and suggestions. I definitely take people's suggestions, and if I can find the book, I do read it. So if you've gotten anything, that you think would help, share it with the community, put it down in the comments below, and thank you in advance. So part of my problem is that I have trouble drawing speed lines. I mean, the actual act of drawing it. I can see it, I have it in my head, I have trouble actually executing it. If I use a ruler, I almost invariably will smudge it and just ruin the whole page. And if I use technical pens, it doesn't smudge so much, but I can't get it to trail off like a dip pen, so I feel like it doesn't look as good. It just, there's that point that it comes to, and I am unable to make it come to a point with the technical pen. So sometimes I try to make the lines on the computer using a specific brush, and the difficulty there is that I don't know if there's a way to anchor it to a center point in Photoshop CS5, and I don't have a tablet, which I would probably be able to figure it out, if I was doing it with my hand, but I use a mouse, so I don't have as much control. I'm not as talented as most people are. I mean, some people can create amazing things with a mouse. I'm just shit with a mouse. I admit that. So I guess this is a hurdle that I need to figure out how to jump. And if anyone has videos that they want to share that might help both me and anyone out there who is, creating comics, please share those down below. I would really appreciate it. I'm kind of a combination learner. I can learn, and I do learn just reading something and looking at the examples, but I also find a lot of value in watching how things are done, and then through the repetition of doing it. Those are the ways that I learn, is by watching and doing. I can read again, and I do a lot. Sorry, I do a lot of reading. But yeah, I like to watch things too, which is why I love school, because then you're actually learning from someone who is doing it and you can physically see them doing things. But a little off topic, I like to talk about just random things that pop into my head. And one of the reasons Abraham Lincoln was so well learned is because he would read aloud. If you know anything about Lincoln, he was very much a family man. He and his wife both married. They didn't really believe in disciplining their kids. Probably they could have done with a little bit of discipline. They did get in trouble for some of their antics. But one of the things that he did was he would read aloud quite often to the family, to himself. That was just kind of something that they did a lot back then for entertainment, was that people would get in groups and they would read aloud. And something that he'd said, I'm obviously paraphrasing, but he threefold learned from reading aloud. He'd see the sentence, he'd say the sentence, and he would hear it. And in this way, he felt he was better at retaining that knowledge, because there were 3 ways in which he was learning it. It wasn't just one way. And I think there's something to be said about that, and I can't speak for everyone, but I feel like for the most part, culturally, we've kind of stepped away from doing that. At least I've tried to introduce doing that to some of my groups of friends, and it's just something that doesn't really catch on. People don't care. I mean, there are reading groups and there are groups of people who do that, but overall, I think we can agree that for the most part, culturally, we don't do this. But I recall as a kid, my mom and dad reading aloud to my sister and myself in our big 70s gold chair that fit all 3 of us, and it would turn around in a circle, and I would like to spin in it. Probably get in trouble. But in college, when we did group studies, because we got some really big tomes, we had to read Holy War. Oh my god, that book was horrible. Horrible! Don't read it. But we had to read that, and because it was such a massive book and it was like our first year in college, we kind of split up the chapters amongst each other, and then we would read aloud bits and pieces, and then we would summarize, and we worked together. And that was something that I gotta say, UIS, I loved the program that I was a part of. I don't know if it's the same anymore. I don't think it is. But they really stressed the value of working together and helping each other, because they were all a bunch of communist hippies that started the program. But, God, even one of our teachers even walked out of the classroom and just said, I'm gonna go get some McDonald's, don't cheat. And then as soon as he left, we all started helping each other out. And I know that was a social experiment. I know he did it on purpose. And we all passed the final. That was something that kind of floated to my mind when I was working on this script. I was like, man, there's a lot of different ways to learn. So I thought I would just kind of share my thoughts on that. I don't know if my teachers were communists, by the way, you guys. I'm just joking. I do know they were all hippies. Quite a few of them, at least the core professors, and the professor who was the head of our What is Power class. Oh my god, he was such a hippie. I loved him. Anyway, ending up the video, Con+Alt+Delete is coming up in December. Link is in the description. I have been working double time on prints. I've almost got Act 2 of the revamp, the one that's going to be the official canonical whatever act. I've almost got that done. I had to redraw some things that were not proportioned well, or I had it laid out right to left and it didn't translate just flipping the page. I've had to redraw quite a few pages, but I'm going to have Act 1 and Act 2 at Con+Alt+Delete. I'm going to have print, stickers, free bookmarks. I'm going to have a different sticker each day of the event. It's December 20th through 22nd. So 3 different sticker options on the different days. And if someone makes a purchase of $20 or more, they will get a free 1-inch button. I think it's 1 inch. They're the little buttons. So I'm doing all this by hand. I print my own stuff. I've got a printer. It's a Canon something or other. I'll put that down in the affiliate links if anyone wants it. It actually is a pretty good printer, but you gotta make sure that the setting is correct so that it prints well. Otherwise, you'll get the little lines, at least in my experience. But yeah, I'm doing all this by hand. No third party is involved. I've got my own sticker paper, my own glossy paper that I've ordered. So anyway, if you enjoy hearing me babble or reading my comics, please like, sub, do the bell thing. There's support links down below for Patreon and all that good stuff. The webcomics, it's free. It's free! So I'm waiting for you to follow me to my website. That was really horrible. I'm telling you, I'm goofy today. I really like The Who. Anywho, peace and love, fare you well, and keep on trucking.